Giants training camp day one is in the books, and in today's video, we're going to break down everything you need to know that went down at practice today. But if you want videos the rest of the week on Giants training camp, I need you to hit that sub button right now. In today's video, we're going to break down some winners and losers coming out of the first day of training camp. We're going to talk about Bryce Ford-Wheaton. He made a really big play. Daniel Jones looked to be in midseason form. Darren Waller, he was the story of the day, though. You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. The Giants, they wrapped up their first training camp practice today. They'll be back on the practice field on Thursday and Friday. Then they'll be off on Saturday. Then they are right back at it on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We'll break on hump day of next week, and they close it out with 3 more practices. We're going to talk about Darren Waller as he was the news of the day, but another big piece of news was Saquon Barkley, 2'6", was in the building. If you've been living under a rock the past couple of days, Saquon Barkley is back. He signed that 1-year deal with the Giants, was unable to get that long-term deal done, so he had to sign a 1-year deal. He does. He's in the building. No holdouts, and Barkley will be there week 1, Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. Let's start with a little bit of injury news, though. Rookie Jalin Hyatt, third-round receiver out of Tennessee. He left practice due to heat exhaustion, which we found out just a couple of minutes ago. But he also had a touchdown on an end around before he left practice. Really showcased that speed. He was able to just outrun the entire defense, and that was his calling card in college in the SEC. Ask Nick Saban, as Hyatt put 5 tutties on his head. But Dan Duggan, who works for The Athletic, broke the news that he didn't see what happened, but Jalin Hyatt just walked into the facility with trainers. Ronnie Barnes waved off the cart. Hyatt didn't appear to be in significant pain, and it was always possible it's heat-related. And it was. That's what it came out to be, and he didn't make it out back to practice, which was good for Jalin Hyatt. You never want to see any rookie, really anyone, but especially a rookie, get hurt in the first day of practice. But for a guy that played college football in Tennessee, I'm not sure how he couldn't deal with the heat in New Jersey, but he was back out there. Didn't get back on the practice field, but he made it back onto the field to close out practice. Let's show him some love, though. This is a guy that I'm not sure how many reps he's going to get early on in the season, but he is someone that I believe as the season goes on and we get to the colder months of the year, he's going to have a big impact. Show him some love. Type 84 down in the comment section. Art Stapleton was really talking about how good Daniel Jones looked. And in the clips that I saw on Twitter, I gave him a retweet, so you can go check him out on my Twitter, at @MarshallGreen_. Daniel Jones, he looked really freaking good. Art Stapleton said, I'm not going to take too much of how good Daniel Jones looked in the first practice of training camp, but I don't think I've ever seen him throw the ball harder. 2 TDs I mentioned earlier to Paris Campbell and Cole Beasley. And Beasley said he had a ton of heat on those throws. And some of those throws, a lot of them went to Darren Waller as he was really the dominant player for the New York Giants. Brian Daboll, since he's taken over as the Giants head coach, the early parts of minicamp, training camp, and OTAs, the offense and defense really only works in the red zone. So that's where you would expect Darren Waller to shine. He had 2 touchdowns, had a really nice touchdown grab. He had 2 defenders draped all over him. Ball bounced off his chest a little bit, popped into the air. He was able to catch it, come down with it, and put 6 points on the board for the Giants. And players on the Giants defense are already recognizing how special of a talent that Waller is. Starting safety Xavier McKinney said, you don't see guys that big that can move like that. It makes him real special. Makes him a tough cover every time. Makes me compete a whole lot harder. And I know he's going to help us, and I know he's going to help me improve as a player. The talent has never been a problem with Darren Waller. It's just the lack thereof when it comes to availability. He's missed a lot of games over the last 2 years, but when he is in between the lines, when he's playing football, we know he is one of the best tight ends in the National Football League, and I expect him to be that guy in this offense with Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka calling the shots. I'm expecting number 12 to have a big year for Big Blue. The inside linebacker number 2 position is where I want to shift to, though, as If you remember a couple of days ago, Jarrad Davis, the linebacker the Giants signed at the tail end of last season, is going to be out for the remainder of this season due to a torn ACL. And it was Darrian Beavers who was getting the first team reps in 7-on-7 today. He's also coming back from a torn ACL. So I probably need to update this depth chart right there and just move Darrian Beavers into the starter. But I do believe there is still a competition to be had the rest of training camp. I think Carter Coughlin is going to get some opportunities to be that guy. I think Micah McFadden is someone that's going to have opportunities to be that guy, and they're going to battle with Darrian Beavers. And maybe they look to free agency and sign a guy like Deion Jones, who they had a pre-draft visit with. Another play I want to talk about is my guy, Isaiah Hodgins, number 18. He beat the rookie on a little in-out route and got in the end zone and scored. So the vet took the rookie to school. And I'm really excited to see these two guys in specific battle it out in training camp, because Hodgins, he's a big guy, 6'2", 6'3", probably about 220 pounds. And Deonte Banks is a good-sized corner. So the physicality between those two guys is something I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on. My eyes, though, they definitely went to the highlight that Bryce Ford Wheaton made. You guys have been telling me for months at this point that Bryce Ford Wheaton was going to be the next Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Keyshawn Johnson hybrid, and he made a pretty freaking sweet catch today. Back of the end zone, a circus catch from the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy DeVito. Shout out to Mr. Rick, a.k.a. Cha. Bryce Ford Wheaton. It's going to be tough for him to make this roster, but with a couple of receivers going on the PUP list that we'll talk about coming up around the corner, Bryce Ford Wheaton might have a chance, especially if he keeps making circus leap catches in the back of the end zone. Also, on the defensive side of the ball, Darnay Holmes got those first-team reps and the starting slot cornerback position. We've heard Cordell Flott was the guy that's going to be competing with him, and I expect that competition to continue to go on, but Darnay Holmes was the guy getting the first-team reps early on. I also liked what I saw out of Paris Campbell, and specifically the way that he was used on the football field for the Giants. He was lined up as the running back in the backfield to the left side of Daniel Jones. We talked about in OTAs as how he was getting reps with the running backs. It was very similar to how Wan'Dale Robinson and Kadarius Toney did last year, but Campbell came out of the left side on a little flare route. Daniel Jones threw him the ball, and he walked in for 6. Extremely athletic player, really explosive and shifty. Just get those type of guys the ball in their hands in space, and that's what I like to see from Paris Campbell. Another shocker of the day was Cole Beasley pretty much split reps with Paris Campbell in the starting lineup as that slot receiver. First string Beasley. Could it be a thing? We know that the Giants signed Beasley for a reason, and Beasley signed with the Giants for a reason. And as it wasn't here, it wasn't so he could come here and be a guy that has to compete to make this roster. And especially with Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson going on the PUP list, you might see Cole Beasley starting week 1 against his former team in the Dallas Cowboys. We got more news and rumors surrounding training camp coming up in a second. But first, you guys need to take advantage of this awesome deal. Go to chatsports.com/Giants hat combo and get yourself a hat and a shirt for less than $25. This deal continues to go on. I don't know how much longer it is, and I want you guys to take advantage of it. This link right here, chatsports.com/Giants hat combo, is going to be in the comments and description of today's show. I also wanted to spend a little second talking about some injuries surrounding the Giants, as 6 players went on the PUP list. Vernon Butler did not practice, and Jamison Crowder is on the non-football injury list. So Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, A'Shawn Robinson, DJ Davidson, Marcus McKeithen, and Aaron Robinson are all on the PUP list. But I wanted to focus in with Shepard and Wan'Dale, as well as Jamison Crowder being on the PUP list. There are positions and snaps available amongst this wide receiver core that are open for the taking. The competition is going to breed a winner at this point. And you might be asking, why is Cole Beasley already getting starting reps? Well, it's because the 2 starting slot receivers you see pictured were not at practice, and the guy they signed in the offseason to be the veteran slot, Jamison Crowder, he was also not practicing. So Cole Beasley, he gets a part of those first-team reps at the slot position. I also just wanted to talk about this photo from Giants training camp. I just saw this, and I'm like, it is great to see the fans in the building at practice, because that means New York Giants football is back. Victor Cruz in the crowd, not actually Victor Cruz, but wearing the big 80. Maybe it's Jeremy Shockey. You never know. He was holding the sign, says, Saquon, My ex will take me back if you sign this. Thought it was pretty funny. Saquon, he signed a deal, though, so I'm not sure he needs to sign anything else at this point. But football is back. I am excited. Giants football is back. If you are excited and you want more Giants videos on Giants training camp, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Let's close out the show with a couple more updates from Art Stapleton. He said Giants defensive lineman Rakeem Nunez-Roches was involved in a car accident Tuesday when he left the team facility. I'm told he was lucky, plus escaped serious injury despite being shaken up, as you'd expect. Rakeem Nunez-Roches did not practice today and is in concussion protocol. So prayers up for RNR. Let's hope that he can get back on the football field and stay healthy and hopefully no more car crashes. That is not fun. Very, very scary stuff right there. Last thing I want to talk about is this. Stapleton said, back in March, after Julian Love signed with Seattle, I asked several people inside the New York Giants building about what they do to replace Love on the back end, and they said they really like JP. Jason Pinnock is what he was told in several variations. Pinnock looked really good when he subbed in for Xavier McKinney when he broke his hand on a four-wheeler on the bye week in Mexico. Hopefully that doesn't happen again this year. But good to know that Jason Pinnock is a guy that this front office really is a fan of. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for rocking and rolling with us here on Giants Now. If I missed anything on training camp or you want to know anything else about training camp, give me a follow on Twitter. Also, I want everyone to type Smitty down in the comments section because Tyler Smith, a new worker here at Chat Sports, he did a great job producing this video. One take, no mess ups at all. So type Smitty down in the comments section because he's a New Yorker and he's a freaking Seahawk fan. He's a fraud. Type Smitty. Let's go.